Hello. I'm putting this video together for Gildas Dragon's Dogma LP thread on the Something Awful forums in order to showcase a good beginner's path for anyone who just recently bought the game or anyone struggling with the game early on. This path begins when you reach Gran Soren, and you can do it at any time. We'll start off by leaving Gran Soren, and then I'll showcase the first part of the path on the map. There's no danger in the first part. You can kill some oxen and get some meat, but mostly it's just for herbs and treasure. Early on you won't have much stamina, so the meat does help you carry on. Once you're done here, head into the valley past the goblins and take a left. You'll find yourself on a plateau overlooking the sea where you can find a bunch of materials and plenty of enemies. As you did see on the map, there is an unarmored Cyclops in the valley. That's where this path really begins. The main way to get experience and discipline points is to take down bosses. Cyclops are weak to lightning, so make sure to bring that as well as ice to deal with the goblins. These are the two main enemies you'll be fighting. There are some wolves every so often, but they don't really give out much experience to warrant marking or fighting them. Make sure not to miss the Grand Grapes. These are very valuable healing items, but you'll find more of them in the south area near the Duke's abandoned fort, the one taken over by bandits. There's actually a chest behind where I dropped down, but I didn't collect it here. As we get back onto the main road, you'll be accosted by a few wolves. When you get going west, you'll find a bunch of goblins and a tunnel full of minerals. If you really want to max out on your experience gains, you can head south and take out the bandits that are around the road every once in a while. In the Water God's altar, at the end, there is another Cyclops, the crux of the run, before we head back to Gran Soren. Inside the Water God's altar, ice enchantments will really help you out here because Saurians are very weak to ice, almost instantly freezing every time you hit them. making them very easy prey without even cutting their tails off. One of the reasons you want to come to the Water God's altar, aside from the Cyclops at the end, is that you want to get the treasure in here. This place is packed full of gold and loot. It is also the only place where you can find waterfall gentian leaves and roots, which you need to upgrade certain items. Some very useful items, if I recall correctly. Make sure to kick skeletons if you're playing as a strider, or if you have the chance to use a bludgeoning weapon, use that. They take extra damage from that over slashing. I don't know why everything is drained and things are out of order, because I haven't actually done this quest yet in this game. It's probably something I did, though. I'm taking the path that most players would get without opening all of the altar, without draining the water. But if you want, you can drain the water and have a little bit more to go. But until then, you're just stuck with this. Watch out for these skeleton mages. If this place were full of water, these guys might present a problem for you. You can break sequence a bit by getting some quest items by jumping into these windows if you know they're here. Early on, you might lack the brightness setting that would show you these windows are here, but if you know they're there, you can go ahead and pick them up early on. That's no big deal. Once the Cyclops is taken down, you have mostly finished the area. The only downside to draining the water and going down there as well is that there would be phantoms and you would require a mage or some kind of very powerful magic attack, because they are immune to physical and only holy does good damage. Of course you can just sidestep them and pick up all the chests, but where's the fun in that? Also, when you drain the water, a baby Cyclops appears in the descending corridor from this room. Now that we've gotten everything here, we'll go ahead and throw up a fairy stone and head back to Gran Soren. This time we're going to head through the north gate. This is where everything starts to branch out. From the beginning, you can head north to the riverbed where there's some saurians all around during the daytime. Then you head south, and occasionally you'll find a Cyclops, and sometimes you'll even find harpies circling overhead. Both are random. Then you head east-southeast, and you'll find a bunch of bandits around this area. You take them down, head south, take out some more, then head down the river here. At the end of this river are even more saurians, and there's a good reason why we're killing a bunch, because we can make some good items with their tails. So make sure to go for those. Then we head out of the river and head north. Pass by the quarry, take out a bunch of goblins, and you could theoretically go through here and head west, but once you clear out the quarry once, that's it, so keep that in mind. It's just a quick way. In the forest, during the daytime, you'll find some bandits, a bunch of goblins, and a chimera, but at nighttime you'll find 2 ogres near the Sistine Chapel over there. You can head north to fight a bunch of stronger enemies if you're feeling gutsy, or you can head west and circle around the southern land and head right back to Gran Soren from that way. What I'm trying to convey through this process is that exploration is paramount to your success. As you get stronger, and this path will see you level 100 in just a few hours, you'll start to branch out even more and you'll find even better gear. Which is another thing. Even though you may be level 200, your stats aren't going to help you all that much. So that's why you don't need to worry too much about min-maxing. Gear is way more important. So play what you want to play and switch to other vocations as you want. There's no downside to it, and you're not going to gimp yourself. The main reason you want to go after Oxen is it's a free source of good stamina recovery items, and they also rarely drop ambrosial meat, which you need for later quests. There are other ways to get ambrosial meat, but this is the fastest if you have just started the game. Everything in this game does respawn, so if you feel like just resting over and over for a few days, then everything will be back the way it was and you can continue on with the path again. And as always, make sure to complement your weapons and equipment with the proper skills and the proper pawns. Keep in mind that enemies do change during the night versus the day, and at nighttime you'll be accosted by way more zombies. It wouldn't be a bad idea to have two spellcasters in your party, one bringing ice and fire, and the other bringing fire or holy to deal with the undead. Because when you head north during the nighttime, you'll encounter some very powerful undead enemies. As this video is coming to a close, I will thank you all for watching. I hope this video has given those struggling some new hope, and anyone who might have quit in the past because of the reverse difficulty issues, for those bandits in the south for example, will give it a chance again if you happen to be watching. This is a game that gets easier as it goes along, and I've been showing the abridged version of this path, but trust me when I say that you can benefit greatly from it. Once you start gaining a little confidence, you'll start heading out to the ends of the earth, to areas that the game really doesn't want you to go to yet. But yeah, it's a game that definitely deserves a fair shake. You just gotta know where to start, and I hope this gives people that starting place. I will say stay tuned for the end, and I'll show you what you can use Soren tails for. You can use Saurian tails and combine them with Imperial Acid, which you can also purchase from the traveling merchants Renard and Madeline, to make a special item called an Interventive that cures several debilitations and restores health and stamina. Though, because it's so useful, don't expect to hold on to a whole lot of them.